Okay, go ahead, Debbie.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all for being here and inviting me. I was very excited. It's been a while since we've done a community outreach just because of the COVID and the pandemic and how things have gone. So our community relations manager, Chris McNamara, she said that this meeting was coming up and asked if we'd like to participate, and I said, of course. We love reaching out and interacting with our community members. So I've been with South Sound 911 now since April. I have 25 plus years in the 911 work environment, most of which has been in supervision and management. As has been said, I most recently was the 911 manager for the City of Sacramento Police Department. Like South Sound, Sacramento was a busy agency, and I moved up here to be closer to family. I have a couple of grandkids up here and wanted to be able to spend time with them. So just some background on South Sound, and so that I know we've participated in meetings before, but so everybody understands, we are the 911 center for Pierce County. We 911 call taking and dispatch for all 38 local police and fire agencies within the county. Last year, we answered almost 1 million phone calls. 900,000 phone calls were processed by our center. We also, in addition to 911 call taking and actually talking to people on the phone, we have text to 911 available in Pierce County. And text to 911 is specifically available for those people who have hearing disability or for some reason are in a situation that is not safe for them to call 911. A second function of service that we perform for our partner agencies is what we refer to as the records division. So our records unit processes reports and warrants and things like that for the law enforcement agencies, but we also process firearm transfers and concealed pistol licensing. We just recently reopened our front counter so that the public does have access to come in and be fingerprinted and finish up their application for a concealed weapon. So you might wonder what we've been busy working on still. I think the community is aware that we have a new facility being constructed in the Lincoln South neighborhood at the site of the old Pierce County Hospital. We are on time, on budget, and have a target date of moving into that new building in April of 2021. It is very exciting to all of us to have a new facility, as right now we have staff working in 4 separate locations. One of our work groups is all the way out in Puyallup. Another work group is near the county building on 35th Street here in Tacoma. And then of course our admin offices and records are right across from the city county building on Tacoma Avenue. So we'll actually be able to have all of our employees in one location, which I'm very excited about. If I want to go see somebody, it takes a little bit of a trek to get from downtown Tacoma out to Puyallup. We're also an initiative of the agency, and one that has been envisioned by our stakeholders, is that once we get into the new building, we'll be able to move to a platform of call taking that we refer to as universal call taking, which means to all of you that when you call 911 in Pierce County and South Sound picks it up and answers it, you won't be transferred. The person that answers the phone will be the one to handle your call, whether it's a police, fire, or medical request for service. Right now, we don't have that workflow. Instead, the calls are screened, and if it's a fire request, it gets transferred to the fire department, the fire call takers. So Chris let me know that we've been a partner with Safe Street for many years now, and that you all have sat through our 911 presentations many, many times. And so we are always available and happy to come to help our neighborhood watch groups know best how to access our services and what they should be doing when they call 911. So I'm happy to answer any questions. And again, we just look forward to continuing our partnership.
Thank you, Debbie. And we will reach out to you, just like you mentioned. We work side by side. Our neighborhood we use a lot non-emergency number 911 and the 311. So you are our main core partner. So thank you for that and for your assistance. And I will talk to Chris and schedule for the neighborhood meeting. And you are welcome to stay, and Debbie. And again, welcome to the Tacoma, Washington, Pierce County, and Washington. Thank you. And the next speaker, and is an amazing person, all the way out there, reach out, providing all services. John Gain, all the way come out and talk about the neighborhood. Preston, thank you for coming. Hey, John and Holly, the amazing people. Now is your turn. Introduce yourself. Which department are you with? John, Holly.
Thank you, Darren. I will share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Great. So I am here with Holly Coates Seamstress, and we work for Tacoma Public Utilities. And tonight we are going to mainly focus on our emergency assistant program. Holly is the expert. She's incredible. And so I'm going to let her dive into the details of that. But before we get into that, I wanted to just give some TPU general updates and then high-level emergency assistant program. Then I'll let her go into the weeds, and then I will be here the whole time to answer questions. So I'll stay on until 7:30 and just be available for you all. And like Darren said, my name is John Gangs. I'm the Community Relations Manager for Tacoma Public Utilities. Holly Coates Seamstress is Customer Solutions Manager, and her office has been working tirelessly to support our community during COVID-19. So before we get into the emergency assistant program, I would like to just provide a few updates, TPU general updates. So one, I think it's important to note that the Tacoma Public Utility Board meetings are still happening, and these are public meetings, and there's an opportunity to submit public comment. If you have ideas or questions, or if there's things you would like to share with the utility board, this is the board that makes the decisions that we basically operate by. They put new policy in place, and it's a good opportunity for folks to engage. And I feel like right now, given COVID-19, it's a lot easier to engage and a lot more convenient. And so there's more information available at the link provided. And I will definitely put all of these links into the chat box when I am done presenting. The second thing I wanted to mention, well, I would do these two together. So with technology, it's important to note we can do our part in saving our trees. We do offer paperless billing. Is something that I've taken advantage of. But with that in mind, because of the phone calls and the emails and the increased technology, we have seen scammers they've been hard at work every day. And so I think a lot of organizations are noticing that, but something that was brought to my attention outside of some of the phone calls that people might receive with scammers trying to get you to pay your bill, or they're going to, they might tell you things that they're going to come and turn your power off. One, we will never call you and tell you that. And right now we're not doing any disconnects. And then two, something else I've seen, people are actually getting really bold and they're knocking on some businesses' doors and saying that they're TPU and they're there to shut your power off unless you write them a check. And so please be aware, if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to us and give us a call just to check and see. I want to give an update on My Tpu Parks. Summer is here, and last month we did open up 4 of our parks as of today. They are still open, and it's an opportunity to take a mini vacation inside of the state, and you can reserve your spot at the link provided. In addition to the Emergency Assistance Program, we do offer other programs as well. These are programs that we've had, and if you have some questions, I know Holly might briefly mention these as well, but some of the current programs is the BCAP program, the discount rate, and also our financial EDU. And I will definitely leave a link in the chat box for that as well. And as we talk about saving, and as I transition to the Emergency Assistance Program, I just want to mention one more thing. There's a lot of ways to save. When we talk about conservation, we have a lot of tips, and we offer a ton of rebates. And then something else that I read, an article I read that we posted on our Facebook, it was one of my favorite things: postpone your chores. And so there's ways to save with, maybe picking one day a week to wash clothes. I don't know about you all, but for me, if I see dirty clothes because I'm home all day working, I like to do a load in the morning and at night, and then I notice my bills have increased. And so those are just tips that we have online for you all. In response to COVID and the state of emergency, the Tacoma Public Utility Board went into action right away. And so grateful for our customer solutions team with coming up with very innovative ideas. And so some of those things that happen, all Tpu customers are eligible for payment arrangements for up to 12 weeks. And you can call and just explain your situation and find out more information on that. Also, Tpu is offering payment assistance and arrangement extended payment plans, suspended disconnects, and waiver of late fees for residentials. That goes back to one of the points I mentioned on the first slide. We are currently not doing disconnects. As we talk about the Emergency Assistance Program, this program is a $2.4 million fund to help customers experience an immediate financial crisis with a utility bill credit for eligible households. And we have had thousands of people apply, and we've given out a lot of money. I don't have the exact number, but there are still some funds left in this fund. And before I pass it on to Holly, I would just like to share a couple more updates just about the eligibility requirements. To receive a one-time emergency assistance grant, you must, 1, be a current TPU customer, 2, use the house you're applying for as your primary residence, and 3, meet the household gross income requirements. And now I will pass it to Holly to share a few slides and go into more detail on the Emergency Assistance Program. And Holly, thank you for putting this together. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. John, you can keep going. You're doing a great job. Thank you. So I'm Holly Coates-Seamster. I'm the supervisor for our customer solutions team. And I've been with them for almost 2 years now. I've got a team of 11, and we've been rocking and rolling since the pandemic has hit. So to date, we've dispersed over $12,000. I'm sorry, we've processed over 12,000 applications for assistance. So that's where we are at this moment. And so the household gross income requirements, please don't feel like you have to memorize this. All of this information is on our website. You can also call TPU and get this information as well. But this is the criteria that we're using for the emergency assistance. And so the application is available online because our building is still closed. All the applications are processed online. If any of you or anyone in your community or in your neighborhood is having a difficult time being able to access the application via the web, feel free to call any of our agents have been trained, and they will submit the application online on your behalf, and it will make it to our team. John, can you go to the next screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the way the assistance is broken out, if you have all 5 services from TPU, your credit could be up to $270 total. So like if you have, I think because it's South Tacoma, everyone is receiving all 5 services. Is that correct? I think so.
So, yes.
Yes. So if you were to apply, you could receive a credit of 270 on your account. And then John, the next slide. So as I had mentioned before, if you go right to mytpu.org, that's where the application is. So if being able, again, if you're having challenges with technology, one of our agents will be able to help you fill out the application. We also have access to a language line. So if English is not your first language, you can call, let them know your language, and we have resources available to do a 3-way call with an interpreter, and we can get your information submitted for you. At this time, because we're in a pandemic and in the emergency situation that we're in, we are not usually with our normal programs, we require documentation of everyone that's in the home. For right now, you just input what your information is, what your income is, and your application will be processed. John, the next slide. Oh, okay. And then there's a couple other things I want to touch on as well. So starting on Monday, my team has been short-staffed during the pandemic, but right now we've got extra bodies. Our phone number 502-8400 will be live starting on Monday. So if you call us, leave a voicemail, someone will get back to you, but starting Monday, I have a live agent that's answering those calls. If it's easier for you to email, you can email all of your questions straight to this email address that comes. My team is manning that inbox at all times. And the rest of the information as far as the criteria is listed on the website. And so in addition to the emergency assistance, there's 2 additional resources that we've really been directing everyone to. Within the city limits of Tacoma, Metropolitan Development Council has received funds to help with utility assistance. So if you receive the federal funds for energy assistance, it's referred to as LIHEAP. You would qualify for an additional $500 to go towards your utilities. If you have not applied before, I strongly encourage you to apply, because you could also receive the LIHEAP funds in addition to some assistance for your utility bill. The other, for up-to-date resources, I highly recommend everyone utilize United Way 211. You call that phone number, they have a person there as well, and they can connect you with food resources, rental assistance, anything that you're experiencing right now during the pandemic. Apart from that, again, I also want to emphasize that we are not doing disconnects right now, but if you are in a position where you can make small payments on your utility bill, definitely do so. Please utilize all the resources that we just shared with you right now. I know the concern is a lot of people are waiting, thinking that there's going to be a bailout for the utility. At this point, because we are a public utility, we are funded by our ratepayers, we're all in this together, we're all supporting each other. The utility is not in a position to just erase all of the debts. So right now, the board, our director, Jackie Flowers, she is working with her team to come up with a plan to help our customers get right side up. So during this window of time where we're not doing disconnects, that's what they're working on behind the scenes. So we will have a plan in place once we get the green light to resume disconnects. But up until that point, we're not going to do disconnects, but we are going to have a solid plan in place before we resume them. So any questions for me? Because I can keep going, but if
Thank you, Holly.
Yes. So no questions?
Oh, we just got one in the chat. I'm wondering if TPU has sent letters to at least our most vulnerable populations regarding assistance and how to prevent being a victim of scammers. Some of the elderly in our community do not use technology. In terms of South Sound 911, if people, and then another question for South Sound 911. So I will save that one for you, Holly.
as far as our vulnerable population, they are absolutely on our radar as well. And we have customers who are used to coming in, and that is their interaction, that they come into the building to pay their utility bill, and they want to come and see their favorite agent and spend time with us. And it's unfortunate that during this time we don't have communication with them. So as far as my team, I have a set of our customers who qualified for our discount rate are usually seniors and disabled. We will begin doing outreach to those customers that have not received the emergency assistance and doing some check-in with them to see how they're doing. As far as being victims of scammers, John, you might have more information on this, but I know our marketing team has been getting the information out as far as bill inserts. They've been putting it on Facebook. They've been trying to get the communication out, as well as our agents at the call center will educate our customers when they talk about, they'll call first and we'll let them know, like, yep, that's a scam, don't do it. This is the best way to make your payment to us.
And Holly, TPU is also promoted on the Tacoma TV too. Just want to let you know
Yes,
that.
that's right. You're correct. I completely forgot. I've been on that show and I forgot. Thank you so much for reminding me.
Yes, and then in addition to that, I'm out at a lot of different meetings, neighborhood meetings, and I work with Darren and Eric, and I'm always available to come to your block groups and come to like the monthly meetings and just provide updates. And so we know a lot of folks, they're not able to use technology. So I've been on the phone with some folks that I've developed relationships with, and now just trying to reach folks in the Zoom space as well, and just share similar updates on a monthly and more consistent basis. When we go deep into the weeds for some of the larger groups, I call on the experts like Holly to go out and because she's just, she's basically her and her team developed this program. And so they know more about it than I do, but I am available to join your meetings. And Darren, if you would like, I can come to this meeting on a monthly basis and just be available.
You are very welcome. Bring food along.
All right, and looks like Bonnie had one other question for Debbie. In terms of South Sound 911, if people call and/or have called to report being a victim, are dispatchers stating that they are unable to assist them, or are they directing them to someone who can assist?
So if I understand correctly, you're asking me if we process a call if someone's a victim of a crime? Is that the question?
Yeah, if people call and to report being a victim, are dispatchers stating that they are unable to assist, or are they directing them to someone who can?
It's going to depend on the circumstance. We do have the ability to refer people to online reporting or a telephone report unit. And of course, we have criteria for dispatching on calls for service. If someone's a victim of a crime that an agency would get dispatched for, then the call taker is going to enter that call and it'll be routed to the dispatcher to dispatch the appropriate response.
Great, thank you, Debbie. And thanks everyone for sending in questions. Just keep sending them in and we'll give them to the presenters.
And we have more to a question to come. So the next presenter is from Ivette. It's Melissa Troy from Puget Sound Energy and talking about emergency response. Melissa, go ahead. Thank you. Melissa? Hello, Melissa. Are you still there?
I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been a pleasure to work with TPU on a variety of these different programs to be able to offer up all the things that we have going on to serve our communities. I happen to live in one of the Safe Street groups. And so I've come to these meetings before, but now get to present, which is pretty fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just a little bit about what I do in the community is I am the outreach coordinator for Puget Sound Energy in Pierce County and Auburn. So my job is really to connect nonprofits with funding. We also are going to be able to help get people resources that they need, be able to provide some of these presentations to community partners, and really to be a source of information and a face to a big name like Puget Sound Energy. It's a 100-year-old company, so we're the oldest utility in the Puget Sound area. So we've had a lot of history with Puget Sound, and definitely always learning and making new opportunities to partner with organizations like Safe Street. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen now. Okay, so here's some of the different organizations that, the ways that we can help. One of the things that I always like to bring up is our service area. It can be a bit confusing, especially within the Tacoma area, because typically for Tacoma residents, we're gonna only be serving you for your gas. So most of our combined, so electric use and gas areas are outside of the Tacoma city limits. So Puyallup, Kent, Auburn, places like that are gonna be a combined service area where TPU doesn't serve. And then for the majority of the area for Tacoma, it's gonna be gas only. So if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to somebody at our offices or even to me. I'll give you my contact info at the end, just to kind of get a little bit more information. Especially there are some programs that we have that are really specific towards electric use. And those mainly are going to involve incentives when you're talking about rebates for your home or kind of replacing different appliances. But you can always reach out and ask questions. So just like TPU is doing, we are not going to be doing any disconnections for non-payment during this time, and there's no fees collected on late payments right now either. We are working with customers on payment plans or choosing a new bill date. So there's lots of different options available to help meet whatever the concern is that you have for your specific household. And we're connecting more of the income qualified or people that are in need a little bit more right now with bill payment assistance programs. So there's lots of opportunity. You can always check out our website, or you can reach out to me and I'm happy to help you kind of figure out what we need to get for you in order to make things right. The biggest thing that we're doing right now is with our COVID Relief Assistance Program. So this is actually an $11 million fund because we serve all of South Sound, Bellingham all the way down to Centralia and then over to the East Washington. It is a significant amount of money that we're able to provide to help cover the cost of your energy consumption. This really is for your utility bills between March and the end of August. So the way that this is going to work is it's going to take a look at your previous year's bill. So it's going to take that lump sum from March of 2019 to August of 2019, figure out what your household used, and offer a credit of up to $1,000 on your utility bill. So this will be really specific, of course, to gas for most of Tacoma. And if you didn't live in the home that you're in now, we'll actually take the previous tenants or the previous residents' bill and look at that and be able to offer that credit to you, because we'll just assume that you're going to probably consume around the same amount of energy. So this particular pandemic campaign fund is about anyone who's been financially impacted by COVID-19. So this might be as little as being laid off for a week or being laid off for the entire time, or if you're a small business owner and you've lost income. There's a variety of reasons why you might have to use one of these assistance funds, but the big news is that it's actually going to be available to just about everybody. The cap is a little different. Most of the time for low income programs, the amount of money that you have to qualify for can be a little bit lower, but in this case, it's actually up to 250% of the low income margin cap. So even somebody who maybe made a good amount of money last year, but then this year lost their job, still is going to be able to qualify. Funds are limited. We've actually hit about $6 million of that $11 million fund so far, and we've been able to give out 10,000 customers already this $1,000 credit. So we are expected it to run out in potentially the end of August to September, depending upon the number of applicants we get over the next few months. So how you can go ahead and take a look at this, if you are familiar with our website, most of the website will actually have this nice large red banner on the top that'll ask you to see some information about COVID-19. If not, you can always go to pse.com /bill assistance, and it'll actually pop up with the web page that you're going to need. So this one will have a lot of different eligible programs on there, some of which we're going to go through in a few seconds. But just so that you're aware that this is available to you, you can also call our service number, which I'll provide later on in the slides as well. But most of the time, you can just log into your account and be able to submit those documents pretty quickly and get those funds available to you faster. So on the page, you're going to notice that there's 3 easy steps to get to the KCAP program. So for this one, you're just going to want to gather some documentation, so photo ID and just a proof of a reduced income or unemployment. If you're not able to provide one of those, we have accepted just a letter stating what has happened. So if you can provide that resource, it's a pretty easy, just ask to write up a couple of paragraphs about maybe something that you've been impacted wise, and then that will be considered enough for documentation. And then go ahead and apply online, or you can call our phone number and get help that way. You'll notice that there's some questions on the right-hand side. These are most of the questions that we receive about our COVID Assistance Relief Program. It is only available to PSE residential customers at this time. We're not able to provide it for small business customers due to some regulations surrounding funding. And then funds are distributed to your account in a single lump, and it'll help to cover either past due payments, or if you know that you're going to have an upcoming bill that's quite high, then it can go towards that as well. If you qualify for this one, you are certainly eligible to qualify and likely receive some of our other assistance programs. So things like LIHEAP, which Holly mentioned earlier. PSE offers a HELP program, which we'll go through the next slide. And you'll be able to qualify for a variety of those at the same time. You may have to go through the application process separately though. One of the things that we recommend is also looking at budget payment plans. So this is an easy way to be able to deal with financial utility bills all throughout the year. Typically, that we all experience this where our gas consumption is quite high during the colder months, so January, December, and then during the summer it's almost non-existent. So what we're offering is that you can actually even out your payment. You're basically averaging what you consume in a year and then making those payments so that they're easy lump amounts that you can be able just to schedule in your budget plan so that every single month you're having roughly the same amount come out of your paychecks, and so that you're able to more easier schedule out bigger amounts like mortgages and such. So this one will allow for you to even out your payments pretty simply without having those big flux of payments that you're due at the same time we have the holidays coming up, or you might have some other things that come up as the weather gets colder. We also do payment arrangements. So you'll work with your bill payment. We can actually schedule it in a multiple of ways. You can either do a monthly payment, especially if you're behind a little bit. You can do a pay 50% now and then merge into a few other payments over the course of a few months. You can split your bill into weekly payments, and then you can also do bi-weekly. So weekly might work if you're somebody who needs to, you get weekly paychecks. Then you can always split your bill so that you've got those smaller amounts coming out rather than having one big bill due at the end of the month. And here's those additional payment plans we were talking about in assistance programs. So LIHEAP is the Low Income Heat Assistance Program. It's federally mandated and you need to apply for that program directly. They're going to provide payment to PSE directly. So it's a program that should be available through the Salvation Warm Home Fund. And then our HELP program, which is a PSE related program. This one you actually apply directly to us and it will pay the money out to you. This is really helpful for those paying utilities to a landlord, but your name is as the PSE customer. So it's less restrictive than LIHEAP and it's easier to apply for, and it's also easier for approval. This particular program for HELP also is very helpful for people who are undocumented, and they can also access this and get approved. Again, just like with Holly, the chart can be kind of hard to read, but these are all of the different programs that we have, and then the number of persons per household and the income caps that we're going to request from you in regards to getting approved for the program. This is also available on our website, but I'm happy to send it over to you if you email me or we can talk about it at the end of this presentation. I always like to recommend our Energy Professional program. I actually recently just had my furnace go out, and it's incredibly hard to get a really dependable contractor and somebody you can trust that's going to not overcharge you. So typically we would go through the process of asking friends and family, whoever they knew that would be able to provide assistance for us. And this is actually a program that's available where contractors are already vetted for you, and you can easily find one and just quickly sign up for an appointment via our website. And I was able to get 3 different contractors out to my house, or actually call me, and then one came out to my house a few days later. And he provided me with about 4 different no-cost energy efficiency recommendations right off the bat before he even went into the furnace replacement options. So I always recommend taking a look at this program. They also have the rebates available to them instantly. So usually you can buy your appliances and things through them. Most of us live in very old homes. My home is about 100 years old. So it seems like every other day something's going out. Furnace yesterday, probably going to be the water heater next month, who knows. But it's nice to be able to have those easy vetted contractors to work with. And this is also available on our website. And lastly, because we kind of talked about those rebates, we have a lot of different rebates that are available depending upon what you're doing with your home. If you're doing any remodeling, or if you've got some appliances that go out, just know that we have some great rebates that are available to you when it comes to gas and insulation. So visit pse.com/rebates to be able to get a little bit more information. I know TPU's probably got a lot of the same rebates. I'm an electric customer with TPU, so we've been using some of their rebates as well. But we do have a lot of really great programs in place that if you are considering upgrading your home or you've got to replace something, always try to save a little bit of money. It's like getting a coupon at the grocery store. You want to make sure you get those funds taken care of and keep more money in your pocket. Here is my information. So my email is melissa.troy@pse.com. I'm also in the Spring Hills neighborhood group, so you can always pop by. I have one of the fence murals that Spring Hill neighborhood has showcased before. But if you have any questions, I'm here for you guys. This has been a tough time for everybody, and it seems like the ball keeps rolling and keeps building. So always here to help, always here to try to find more resources for you. So I appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. I think just want to let you know that Associated thinking of you as a neighborhood group. And we have heard a lot about people have been laid off and follow, something like that. So that's why we invite the next speaker gonna talk about the rental assistance program. I have Ivette to come from Associated Ministries to talk more about that. Ivette, are you there?
I am, I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. It's really great to see such a big group here and everybody just doing such different things and really supporting our community. That's really an amazing thing to watch. So I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm gonna tell you, hi, I'm Yvette. I'm the program manager for coordinated entry at Associated Ministries. That means that we do the referral piece. So people who are coming into the homeless system, we send out the referrals. We also do diversion conversations, which means we have the conversations that allow people to come into the coordinated entry system. So actually access the resources for homeless services, right? I also work with the Community Resource Connection Center. So just so you guys all know, it's open to everyone in the community, not just people who are experiencing homelessness. And it's a program where we really work to get creative with clients. The idea is to help people stay out of crises, right? So sometimes those things that come around, surprising, like your tire went flat, or you got a job and next weekend you need steel toe boots to be able to get to work. So please know that it exists and that you can access us and that you can send your clients or be on your way and see if we can help out with something, okay? And then the fourth part that I'm here to talk about today is actually the rental assistance program, right? The rental assistance program, I'm actually really happy. The county worked really hard to make it easy for us. So I'm gonna do my presentation a little bit different because I want you guys to see how really much easier they made it and really what the process looks like, okay? So I am gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me a second, let me see if I find the correct page. Now, one of the things that the county did do was they made a centralized intake. So basically, what happens is that everybody goes through the county's website and completes the application. And they also have the opportunity to pick what agency in the community they want to serve, they want to be served with, or they want to work with as they progress through this whole crisis, okay? Now, I'm taking you to the Associated Ministries website because it's the easiest way, right? Because it's guided for me, because it's what I'm used to. So, but I'm gonna show you both ways, right? So, and if you guys aren't seeing my screen move along, please somebody raise your hand and I'll work on making sure that you do, yeah? So the first thing you do is you type associatedministries.org and right here up the top, you find the rental assistance program. So you go ahead and you click that rental assistance button. Let's see if it opens. There, are you gonna open? There we are. And then it gives you two options. You can complete the application on your own, or you can allow Associated Ministries to help you with your application. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and click to allow Associated Ministries, because the reality is that what we're gonna help you do is exactly what you would be doing on your own on the county. So I've just added an option where it says that you want somebody to help you walk through, okay? What's gonna happen is, you're gonna give us your name. So Minnie Mouse, oops, I can't spell. Minnie Mouse. Then I'm gonna do my phone number. And you guys don't have to worry, I'm the one who receives these every day, so I'll make sure I'll delete this. I will make people call Minnie Mouse. So let's say about 1400, and then we go for a household size of 4, and I'm gonna use Associated Ministries zip code, so 98405. I submit it, and literally what's gonna happen is that this is gonna show up on my mailbox, okay? And then every single morning, I make sure that our rental assistance team has these inquiries, and within 48 hours, our rental assistance team is calling you back. What we're gonna be doing is completing this application. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning, just so that you can see exactly where. Hopefully it's a little faster. There we go. Instead, I'm gonna complete my application on my own, right? And what we're gonna do is really literally, we're gonna go to the website that Pierce County had, okay? So when we receive the application that says that you want Associated Ministries, the inquiry that says you want Associated Ministries to go ahead and help you complete the application, someone on my team is gonna go into this website, and with the person on the phone, with your client, with your family member, with whoever is calling, hopefully it shows up. With whoever's calling, we're gonna walk you through this application and hopefully get the job done. Now I'm gonna wait here for the housing assistance. Let's hope that it loads correctly. It should load correctly. As soon as it opens up, what you're gonna see is that it's again, fairly easy, and it's very guided so that we can get through it pretty easy. So it shows up as the housing assistance programs, and then it gives you the 3 options. There's an option for mortgage assistance. Associated Ministries is not doing mortgage assistance, but the truth is that the county does have mortgage assistance. So if you know someone, or someone in your circles needs mortgage assistance help, they would come to this Pierce County website, and then they would go here, and instead of doing rental application, they do a mortgage assistance application. And if it's a veteran, then there's resources specifically for rental and mortgage assistance for veterans. So again, they don't have to go through the other applications. They can specifically pick the rental application for mortgage assistance for veterans. Associated Ministries isn't holding that piece either, okay? So we are holding the rental application, the rental assistance. And you would click in there. And the reason I wanted to show you, and I wanted to walk you guys through this process, is because, tell me if you see the form when it shows up. I'll tell you when it pops up, and you tell me if you can actually see the form, okay? so slow today. It's making me nervous. Thank you for your patience. There we go. One of the main reasons why I wanted to take you through the process is because the application itself really does have everything. So it talks to you about people that couldn't pay rent due to the COVID-19, tells you about the households that are eligible. We're doing 1 month of emergency rental assistance, although we can do up to a second month depending on funds and depending on the need. Payments prior to April 1st, they're not eligible. They're made directly to the landlord or the property owner, and then we're basing it off the current household income, okay? And the household income that we're utilizing, I'm really, again, super happy and super proud of our county. They were able to lift it up to 80% AMI. We were a little bit concerned that we were going to keep it stuck to that 50% AMI, but the reality is that a loss of income during this pandemic can happen to a lot of people and can affect a whole bunch of different people. So I'm glad that they upped it to 80%. So it does tell us kind of the basic guideline, right, of what it looks like. And then it tells us what a family or what a household can look like. Anyone from a single person to grandparents living with children to elderly. So the reality is that we're not disqualifying people for any of those circumstances. And then it tells you what you need, right? So there's two parts to it, right? One of them is that you do have everything that you need here. So it tells you we do need the rental agreement, we do need that lease, and we do need a document that says that you've lost income due to COVID-19. It could be something as simple as a letter from your employer. It could be something as simple as unemployment, the request for unemployment. And if it comes down to it, we'll work with you to find something that helps us document what that income loss was, okay? So please just give us the opportunity. And then we'll be asking from your landlord, we will be asking for their W-9 because the payments do have to go directly to the property. So we will be asking for that. I'm not gonna fill out the whole application. I'm gonna kind of just walk you a little bit through, but you see pretty simple. Name, contact, they do like an alternate phone number just in case we can't get a hold of the person first. We can try another one. It does ask you what your preferred method of communication is. And here's the first eligibility question, right? So if you say, yes, you're a veteran, it kind of tells you that you should go back and actually apply for better services for yourself, right? Which is those services that are eligible for veterans. Now, we're gonna say no for purposes of this tutorial or whatever this is, presentation. And we're gonna say that, due to the COVID impacts, $1,400 a month is my income right now. And it doesn't ask you where it's coming from, it just asks you what it is. And then it tells you what your household size is, right? So I'm gonna say 4. And then do you live within Pierce County? The beauty of it is also that we're able to serve everyone in Pierce County. So that means city of Tacoma, outside, on the outskirts, anyone in Pierce County, we can serve, okay? And then it goes to the basic household information. Once you respond to those questions, see? Once I respond to live in Pierce County, then now it opens up the qualifier, and then it's just some basic demographic information, some household income information. Again, a lot of it we had already responded, so it's just gonna ask us where that income is coming from. If you have applied or anyone has applied, and then we go into the rental information. So you ask for the months that you feel that you need or that you actually need. We can only help with 1 month at a time or up to 2 months, and we can't help with future payments. So for example, we're in July, we won't be able to help with August rent until we're right there in August, okay? But if you have May rent and June rent, we could potentially help you with those, okay? So always give it a try. Another thing that I wanna let you know is that the county did ask us that even if families aren't necessarily qualifying, to go ahead and submit the application just in case there's any changes in eligibility. For example, the 80% AMI, that was something that started after they had started the rental assistance program. So families who fit within those extra 30, between 50 and 80, actually started getting phone calls back, and we've been able to start supporting them with their rent. Okay, so please keep that in mind. It is going to be really important that families or households allow us to go ahead and contact their landlords, right? So they're going to give us the basic information, how much they're owing, how much is past due, their landlord's name, their phone number, their email. If they don't have all of that information, that's fine. We'll work on making sure that we get it. But definitely, we do need permission to speak to the landlord. So if you keep reading just a little bit more, it gives you right here the opportunity to upload the documents, upload your lease, your income documentation, and your landlord's W-9 if you have it, which you usually won't have it, but you could upload it here, but it's not necessary to submit your application. So ideally, when we get it, it helps us schedule faster and it helps us move faster. But if we need to do a little bit of work to make sure that we get the documentation that you need, we're going to do that with you, okay? Or we're going to do that with your person. So it's not necessary for the application to get completed. It is necessary for us to have it before we send out the check. All right, so I guess that's the caveat. You do release information, and here's the deal, and here's the other piece, is that yes, we would love all of you guys to come to Associated Ministries, but the reality is that you don't all have to, okay? Right here on the application, it allows you to pick the organization that you feel more comfortable being served by, okay? So that's gonna be important for your clients. If they already have some type of relationship, or they already know St. Vincent de Paul and that's who they'd like to work with, then please feel free and let them do that. Now, if the family does go through our website, when we get to this point, we do ask them, so do you wanna continue all this service with Associated Ministries? And then that's what we do. The county, like I said, made it pretty easy for us. Right here where it's the signature, we are being allowed to sign on behalf of the client, and then of course, let them know who was submitting the application. Right now we have 14 days to respond when we're getting these from the county, but we're getting them from the county pretty much immediately. So if I was helping one of you complete this application online, within 5 minutes, the county is turning around. It's all electronic, turning around and emailing it right back to me so that we can continue our service. I can talk forever and I can talk really fast. Do you guys have questions? Anything that you're more interested in hearing than all that I'm saying? And I can stop sharing if you want.
Any question for Ivette? In the chat box, Julia, anything in the chat box?
Nope, nothing yet.
Okay, so if you have any later on at you're at home, you're thinking about it, you forgot about it, just email us. So we're happy to be the channel to all the presenter for tonight's.
Perfect, thank you, Darren. One thing that I will do is I'll email you the flyer for the rental assistance. That way, if you have questions later, then people can go and just address that. It's pretty simple. I think that I really, I can't say how happy I am that the county made this really easy for us. They're really focused and dedicated. They want to spend these dollars. They want to avoid evictions. They want to take care of our families. So send them our way. We want to help.
If we would like to invite you to come back at the next month meeting, for example, in the future meeting, will you be able to come back and share with us?
Absolutely. Just put me on your invite and I'll return and I'll share with you guys how it's been going and if there's any updates, and absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ivette. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Okay. Now we go to the next presenter, who which many people have wondered, hey, what happened to our cleanup? So off and on, when I call people in, a lot of stuff. So tonight I have the representative from the city of Tacoma, Preston. He will come and talk about the 2020 cleanup and also the other thing that he's going around in the neighborhood. Preston, take over. Thank you.
Darren, thank you. Good to see you. Julia, Dami, good to see you all as well. Good to see everyone. So my name is Preston Peck. I'm with Environmental Services, City of Tacoma, more specifically with the Solid Waste Division. My focus with the city is the project lead on the Recycle Reset project that focuses on single family homes and duplexes, some changes within the recycling program, and transition away from curbside glass pickup. But tonight, Darren has invited me to come speak on the curbside community cleanups. It's that time of year, and we're all home at this point, obviously, and probably doing some different projects that we've delayed. I found out that most of mine that I thought was going to take, 2 or 3 weeks really took me about 6 or 7 hours, and in the process generate a lot of garbage or other things I need to donate. So I'm here tonight to speak with you a little bit about the curbside cleanups. I'm going to share my screen with you. So Darren, I'll need your permission for that. And I think I'm sharing right now. Is everybody able to see? Darren, can you confirm for me?
I mute myself. Yes.
Yes, good deal.
Okay.
Excellent. So I felt like it'd probably be a good idea to walk you through our website. Don't worry about the address. I know it's not super friendly to remember, so don't worry, I'll drop it in the chat. And then obviously Darren's got my contact information, so happy to pass that back along. But this is our main kind of portal for curbside community cleanups for this year. We've moved to curbside for obvious COVID-19 protocol. We want to make sure that our workers are safe, that our residents and our customers are safe, and taking all the proper precautions. So this program is for right now only single family homes and duplexes. We are not able to offer this for our multifamily residents at this time, just due to capacity and staffing limitations. If you do have certain things, if you've been cleaning out the house and finding new things, we always encourage folks to donate them if they are usable. So you want to coordinate with your local Goodwill or other kinds of thrift stores, donation centers. We definitely want to encourage that. As someone myself, I've dropped off several items that we've cleaned out at the house recently, and they are taking proper protocols and everything to make sure that everybody's safe in that process. But if you scroll down on the website, you can see the dates for our community cleanups. Many of them have already happened. I've been hearing from our collections team, it's been very successful. A lot of people are putting out unwanted items, and we're making sure that they're properly disposed of. I did want to flag a few dates coming up just for those residents that may be located in these areas, and I'll speak a little bit more about how to find out where you are in just a second. But coming up on July 25th, we'll have the Bates Technical College area. So I'll show you on the map how you can find out where you are. August 1st is going to be South Lakeshore Church. August 8th is Jason Lee Middle School area. And then the full list you can find on this website. Like I said, I'll drop it in the chat. If you're not sure where your community cleanup is located, there is a relatively easy interactive map that you can use. I've been playing around on it a little bit to make sure that it's accessible. You just click on that link, and it tells you a little bit more here on the right-hand side of the screen about different kinds of protocols and stuff that we can't take, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page of what you can and cannot put out. But if you scroll in here, you can also find your address by just typing over here on the left-hand side of find your address. And then you can also double click to zoom in. You can see, so the ones that I mentioned earlier, Bates Technical College area is this kind of brown area right here for those residents. The South Lakeshore Christian Church area is this green area, and then Jason Lee Middle School up here, kind of Old Town area. So that you should be able to find all of that information if you are a City of Tacoma resident and a single family home or duplex. There are some, what we accept down here, if you continue scrolling down, so far as 25 sealed bags or boxes of unusable household items. That can include things like clothing, small appliances, housewares, household tools. One thing that we do want to make sure for our worker safety and for our customers and residents as well, is make sure to not put any kind of hazardous items in that. And it'll talk a little bit more on the website if you scroll down what those are. Another thing to note is that we definitely want to have people call ahead for large items, and it gives some examples like refrigerators, couches, table saws, any kind of like big tools, those kind of things. We just want to make sure that we have the proper equipment there, and we'll take up to 3 of those items per household. So we just want to make sure that we have proper staffing and the proper equipment there so that we can service those folks appropriately. If you continue scrolling down, here's some of our items that we do not accept. Again, household hazardous waste materials, those kind of things. there's a couple different resources here so far as what's proper garbage, recycling, and then if you click on our hazardous waste site, it does take you to our household hazardous waste page here, and you can look at the whole guide on what is and is not. So if you're concerned, if you don't know, be sure and check that out. We just want to keep everybody safe. And then lastly, there's some guidelines here to make sure that you want to put all these items out on your curb no later than 8 a.m., but don't put them out too early, like the night before, those kind of things. Animals, people, all kinds of things can happen rummaging around, and we just want to make sure that it's a nice, clean, and sanitary area. And then again, please call ahead for any kind of large items that were listed above on the screen. We want to make sure that all of those items are accessible for our trucks and for our people to make sure that they're staying safe and that we're able to get those items out of your way. And then items must be less than 6 feet in length. And then we just want to make sure that we're, as city workers, abiding by all of our policies and procedures on maintaining proper social distancing and proper personal protective equipment. And we want to make sure our customers are doing the same just to keep everybody safe. If you do have any questions about this, obviously I'm here. I'll be sharing my, excuse me, my cell phone and email address in the chat box. But additionally, you can reach our customer service team at the number listed here, 253-502-2100, or emailing them right here at solidwaste@cityoftacoma.org. So at that point, I think I'm going to wrap up. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them or direct them to probably smarter people that can.
Yep, thank you, Preston. And again, if you have any further question to get home, just do not hesitate to email me. Okay, and question for you, Preston, is curbside cleanup in addition to the call to haul?
Yes, that is an addition. All single family homes and duplexes, our residential customers, do get, I believe, 2 call to haul pickups free every year, and those are for big ticket items as well. One other thing, Darren, that I forgot to note that you and I have discussed too, is we are trying to send out postcards in a timely manner to all of the residents in these neighborhoods as their cleanup is approaching them, so that we can give them a heads up, not only for folks that can't make meetings like this, but just folks that may not have access to internet or those sort of things. So just keep an eye out in your mail, tell your neighbors, tell folks you know, keep an eye out, and that'll direct them with the same kind of directions here too. And I know we had some glitches, I think it was over in the south end or something like that, earlier on getting stuff out to folks in a timely manner, but crazy times out here, and I think we fixed the glitches, and we're here to help. So thank you, Darren.
You're very welcome. So you have 2 call to haul per year, and this year is additional with the curbside cleanup. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And now I would like to share with you what is Safe Street has been doing and thinking about you. Julia, would you please talk a little bit about little cleanup and garden project, please?
Definitely. Yeah, so Safe Streets has been thinking a lot about neighbors and folks who really want to keep building community, even though there's barriers because you're not supposed to be within 6 feet of another person. You have to keep your gatherings really small. So we wanted to be supportive of any way you guys want to keep building community, you know, despite these restrictions. So we're open to your ideas and would love to hear your needs really on anything or anything you think the community needs. But we have a couple things just kind of waiting in the wings for you if you want. We have free litter supplies that we can give you. So that's buckets, grabbers, some really cool vests we just got in, trash bags, gloves, everything you need to go on safe, socially distant litter walks in your neighborhood. Or maybe you have a neighbor or friend who can walk, you know, just within 6 feet of you. So we'd love for you to take advantage of that. I'll put the link in the chat for where to apply for that. It's all free and it will get delivered to you, or you can come pick it up from us. So we've got the litter supplies and we've got gardening supplies that we can get to you. So if you want to do a community gardening type project, like you have a traffic circle in your neighborhood that you want to beautify, or there's like a community garden plot that grows food for your neighbors, we want to help you do that. And again, I'll put the link in the chat. It's safest.org/stay committed. I'll put it up there in just a second. But again, those are just 2 things you can do to build community. There's lots of different ways to do that. We know probably people have all kinds of needs or things they're seeing, and we want to hear from you and help you build community in your neighborhood.
Thank you, Julie. And the reason this program coming up to Safe Street during this time, because some of the citizens in the neighborhood group say, hey, Darren, we see a lot of trash in the neighborhood. And so that's why we are nonprofit. We don't have a lot of money, but we do have heart and want to support a little cleanup in the neighborhood. We provide grabber and the bucket and a shirt and a vest, or just go out there, represent the group and clean up the neighborhood. When you do have a lot of projects you want to share with other neighborhood group to inspire, to motivate others. So I would like to invite Domi to talk a little bit about newsletter. What can the citizen in the neighborhood do and to share? Domi?
Yeah, hi, my name is Domi Watkins, and I have not been able to meet anyone in person yet, but I'm so glad I was able to be a part of this. Yeah, so I'm a communication specialist, and I would love to have people send in stories of what their neighborhoods or you yourselves have been doing to like stay connected and support one another through this pandemic. I can also drop my email in the chat box, and stories just whether it's like a cleanup that you in your neighborhood organized, or maybe you guys or someone built like a bird, what are those things called, a bird house, or just something like that you're super proud of or that you would love to share. And yeah, and I would also just love to like get to know some of you guys as well. I've talked to a few, but I would love to get to know more.
Yes, and again, in order to inspire, motivate other people, let other people know what's going on in the neighborhood, what you have done, because the neighborhood watch group and organized group of neighbors looking out for each other to be safe, clean, and healthy. It's a part, you invest a lot of time on that. So we want to be a part of it. And the next one, we want to let you know that due to the COVID-19, Safe Street is assisting Metro Park Tacoma by participating in offering assisting the free food summer meal program here in Tacoma and the Metro Park area. We have 4 locations started ended on August 18. If you have the children and going to play at the park, and we have 4 parks that we provide food to, just like a grab and go. We have one at Franklin Park and one at Wright Park, and the other one at South Wapato, and the other one is at Portland Community Center. And again, if you have the children go out there playing in the park, do not hesitate to swing by, and we have plenty of food. I'm there too, and many other mobilizers. I just want to let you know that we do care of you, we're thinking of you, and all the time, and we talk about you guys, the neighborhood group, all the time, every week, on Wednesday or on Tuesday, every single week. We talk and what can we do to assist, to support you guys. Even though pandemic, COVID-19, we cannot socialize, but our spirit is still with you. The last thing is I would like to, Priscilla, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we have 10 minutes for you to share your, yes.
Well, this is impromptu, of course, you know, Darren, he doesn't always let me know what's going on. Well, we have been so busy, you know, you'd think, so with the pandemic, we have just been working so hard to help everybody stay connected. And I know it's very stressful because there's so much uncertainty. When we think we're heading back to being able to move toward phase 3, all of a sudden, Dr. Chen tells us we might be going back to phase 1.5. And so we're very grateful that everybody stays connected, that everybody has stayed engaged. This is just so important because we need to keep building our community. That's the thing we can do now. That it's getting kind of old hearing everybody say we're in this together, but that's it, we are. So mask up, practice social distancing, help people who maybe are isolated. We're planning some other meetings virtually like this, and we're very excited about that. We're making some new connections with some folks that have not been traditionally involved with Safe Streets, or maybe involved, I should just say, over the last 10 years. When Safe Streets started, it was like everybody from everywhere wanted to get involved and figure out what they could do to make our community safe. Then over time, you know, people drift away. We are asking people to get re-engaged. So we're doing a lot of outreach work and talking to folks, trying to find out what is it that would make a big difference for you in your neighborhood. Not trying to do something big, you know, across the entire city, but we want to work with you to try to make small improvements, but that really help to make your community cleaner, safer, thriving, and a positive place for children. And now knowing that, I mean, it looks like, we heard today, City of Seattle Seattle School District is made the decision to go online. Tacoma is still deciding. Not everybody has made decisions, but what I see is that we're going to have families and children, you know, right there in our neighborhoods. And so I am asking you to be thinking about what are all the things that we can do to help those families with children so that the kids can, you know, kind of get the education they need, but also be able to, you know, live happy lives. I think I just think about it that way. So I'm worried about the small children. I'm worried about their parents. And so we're going to keep working with Metro Parks and food banks and everybody to make sure people have enough food. I hope Congress can continue to act in a way that helps us here locally in our community. And if you have a chance to email your congressperson, please do so. I know the Washington delegation is working hard to do more assistance for people in communities. So that's another very, very important thing. Also, I want to talk about something fun. At the end of August, on August 29th, we're planning an event at the LeMay Car Museum, and it's a drive-in event. So we get to do this because you can get in your car with your family and you can drive to the LeMay Museum. There is an entry fee and you can go online and find all that out. But we're going to have a little program on their screen. They have a big blow-up screen so we can all be in our cars and watching this. And then we're going to show the movie about Mr. Rogers. And because we think that's what it's all about. It's about building our neighborhoods and being good to each other in our neighborhoods. So we thought that would be a really fun movie. And Julia's working on getting the movie secured. We're pretty confident that we're going to be able to show it. So we want to pray for good weather and no wind, because if it's windy, they may not let us have the event. So, so that's number one. And I know that many people are a little distressed about not being able to do National Night Out. National Town Watch canceled National Night Out for August, but scheduled it for October 6th. we'll keep you informed about that. But you might be able to put up a small neighborhood gathering where you sit maybe 6 feet apart from each other and share some, you know, everybody can bring their own food, but just get together and talk. So there are still things that we can do where we're socially distant and we're wearing our masks, and we need to do that because we need to protect everybody in the community and each of you. You are all so precious, and we're just so thrilled. We had such a good turnout tonight for this very important information. And I'd like to say thank you to Tacoma Public Utilities, Puget Sound Energy, and Preston from the city of Tacoma, and the Associated Ministries. This is really important stuff for our community at this time. So Darren, thank you. And I hope everybody has a really good evening, and we'll look forward to the next time when we can all get together like this. And you know, we can get 1,000 people on Zoom, so there's a lot more room for more people to join us. So tell all your buddies about it and get more people to join in. Thanks.
Thank you, Priscilla, and also Debbie from Grady from South Sound 911. And again, we are thinking of you, Safe Street thinking of you, and we care of you, and we love you. And again, if you have the children who are going out, you have the story to share, please do not hesitate to contact us. We know where to go, but we know where to go unless you share with us what you want us to do. And again, the success is we are together. And again, together we can. Thank you all so much for spending your time for this evening. Debbie, Ivy, Preston, and John, Holly, and Melissa, and also the person who behind the scene never show up, admitted people to come in. Andrea, Andrea, where are you? Are you still there?
Hi, Darren. Thank you.
She's the one. I just want to say thanks to her who set up everything and to make sure every presentation and all of us get in smoothly. Thank you, Andrea. Great job. Thank you all, and have a blessed evening. Thank you, and see you again and next month in August. Stay tuned and get more information from us. Good night, Angela. Good night, Mira.